to A Pinch of Basile. I am your host, Basil. You're only getting the audio version right at this very second because, hey, those two cans and string just don't stretch as far as I thought they did. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Janice Hermson, and how could we even do anything with our ever-so-capable chief engineer, Christian Meyer. Janice, how are you?
I am well, and we have to thank Christian very much. He's working very hard back there to make this a success for us.
Absolutely, especially with the guest that we wound
That's
up having,
right.
who canceled out on us 2 weeks ago at the very last second, and I'm going to let him slide. As soon as we get him on the air, I'm going to have to give him some chuckles on that for that show. Anyway, so you let me know, Janice, when he's here. Just interrupt me.
We are ready
to
roll.
Okay?
We are ready to go right now.
Okay.
They are on.
Oh, wonderful. We're going to go directly to our guest, Congressman Gus Bilirakis from Florida, 12th Congressional District. He also serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee and is the Vice Chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee. He is the Co-Chairman of the Military Veterans Caucus and Co-Chairman of the Congressional Hellenic Caucus and the Congressional Hellenic Israel Alliance. Welcome, Congressman Gus Bilirakis.
Oh, it's great to. I wish I were actually there, but I'm here on Skype in Washington D.C. and it's wonderful to be with you. That's for sure.
Oh, thanks so much, Gus, for coming on the air. Listen, man, about 2 weeks ago, you ditched us because you came up with some. I don't know where you come up with these excuses. Something about
we probably had votes on the floor, Basil. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but you never know when they're going to call the votes up here.
Yeah, you had to take a vote, then you had to go to the White House to have dinner with the boss. Now, let me get this.
Is that what it was? I don't even remember. But
yeah,
there's always something going on up here. Never a dull moment, that's for sure.
No, that's not now anyway. But if I had a nickel for every time someone used that excuse, I'd be a very wealthy man, Gus. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. Listen, man. So many questions, Gus. So many things that we're involved in right now, especially with the hearings going on tomorrow, which I think is, I don't know what to say. I really don't. But first and foremost, whether you're a Democrat, Independent, or Republican, with impeachment going on, I mean, what else is Congress doing right this very second?
Well, we have some. There's a veterans bill on the floor actually today, and I spoke on it and had my entire bill with regard to improving the GI Bill. So we're going to pass some good veterans legislation tonight. But what happens is, like Basil, during the impeachment hearings tomorrow, I've got several markups, including energy and commerce, healthcare issues that we're going to mark up, and a couple of them will pass off the floor in a bipartisan fashion. And then the Veterans Committee, we have a markup as well. Markup is where you mark up the bill. You amend the bill and make it right and get it ready for the floor. But what happens is it either doesn't get to the floor or one of the parties puts a poison pill on the floor. For instance, we had 7 bills that passed out of Energy and Commerce with regard to prescription drugs not long ago. And they passed unanimously out of committee. And then the speaker decided to put a poison pill in there. And really, it was irrelevant. It had nothing to do with the prescription drug bill. And guess what? It didn't go anywhere in the United States Senate. So we have to legislate more. We need more legislators up here. We've got a lot of grandstanders, but we don't have enough legislators. And I think this impeachment hearing is really a distraction. It really is. It's a waste of time, in my opinion.
Well, I wholeheartly agree, but based on the vote itself, which I believe the number was 232 to 196, and only 2 Democrats voting against impeachment, probably the only ones who, in my opinion, had some type of brains. Because I got to be honest with you, I think with the way it went, it's been everyone discusses the word transparency, and to be honest with you, this is anything but. And I got to be, this is clearly a partisan impeachment. And why can't the impeachment process be truly transparent? I gave you guys kudos for the Republicans that broke down the doors and said, hey, you want transparency? What is all this thing on one side that you guys are going into attack mode and you want to go ahead and investigate these so-called witnesses? I mean, how can you have transparency behind closed doors, Gus?
Well, there's no question. And, for 35 days, it's been closed. And Adam Schiff, who's the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, has been leaking selective information to the press. That's very wrong. Now, the people that went in there in that room, I give them credit. What happened with me is I had a conflict, but I went before them, I think the day before, and tried to read the transcripts, and I was denied because they said I was not on the committee. But I'm a member of the House of Representatives, for crying out loud.
Yes, you are.
And yes, we will have to vote on this issue more than likely on the floor again. We have to have access to as much information as possible. The other thing I don't like is, according to their rules, the Republicans can only call witnesses that unless they can only do it if Adam Schiff agrees to those particular witnesses. So that's definitely not fair. It really is a total waste of time, because I don't feel like this is, if you got to look at the transcripts, but also it's a matter of interpretation. But even if the president decided to make those, ask that question and what have you, this is not an impeachable offense.
And I hate to cut us off at this point, but we have to cut away to a break, and I do want to make sure that we talk about that when we come back. Okay, Basil?
Okay, listen, we're going to be right back with some more of Pinch of Basile right after these messages.
Have you, a friend, or family member been diagnosed with cancer? Dr. Forsythe at the Forsythe Cancer Care Center offers an all-inclusive program to treat adult types of cancer. The Forsythe Immune Protocol Cancer Treatment Plan, in a current prospective study of over 6.5 years and 1,200 adult cancer patients, has produced a remarkable 30 times greater survival statistic when compared to conventional full-dose chemotherapy. Greater than 95% of all their patients choose low-dose insulin-potentiated life chemotherapy, using only 10 to 15% chemotherapy dosing with insulin. Dr. Forsythe has long been considered one of the most respected physicians in the United States, particularly for his treatment of cancer and the legal use of human growth hormone. Located in Reno, Nevada, Dr. Forsythe has seen patients from all over the world. To schedule your consultation today, call 775-827-0707. That number again is 775-827-0707.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
So here's the choice. Some people say the USA is finished. It's evil, a has-been, full of hate and injustice. The U.S. Constitution should be trashed and the Bill of Rights abolished. No free speech, no gun ownership. Competition and free markets are bad. We're all too stupid. For our own good, the government must own everything, and know all your secrets.
Other people say that America has created the freest, richest, happiest, most generous society that has ever existed in the world. That's why millions of people are desperate to come here and escape their brutal lives in Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, and 100 other countries.
In America, we have the right to succeed, the right to our own living, the right to have a family, the right to believe in God, the right to have our own ideas, the right to be safe and secure, and the right to be left alone.
Where do you stand? Help us save the Constitution and restore the American dream. Go to SaveMyFreedom.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station, the power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
No, we are indeed back. This is Basil all over around the world. From Australia, throughout Europe, to South Africa, all throughout North America, especially here in the good old United States. I'm here with our wonderful guest, Congressman Gus Bilirakis, who represents the 12th Congressional District in Florida, near the Tampa Bay area. And Gus, again, thank you so much for being with us today. You were talking about some of the issues that are going on right now, and I don't know if Janice actually interrupted us, and do you remember, where you were at?
Well, basically, let me just say this. The opposing party, the Democrat Party, has been trying to get this president out of office for almost 3 years now. They are not happy with the results of the last election in 2016. And they're doing everything, their darndest, to get him out of office. Well, the American people voted in 2016. There's an election coming up in a year from now. And if the people do not want to reelect the president, that's their right. But the people have spoken in 2016. So, and I feel like this particular issue that they picked on with regard to the Ukraine and what have you, it's not an impeachable offense, and I think the speaker knows that. But I also feel like she got so much pressure from the squad, the so-called squad, that she had no choice but to move forward for political reasons.
I understand, and I think she's sitting there, kicking herself in the rear, because I think it's going to really backfire against them so badly. I
think so too, but you never know. I really feel that way as well.
Absolutely. I'm going to skip a question, Gus, and go right, because you mentioned what's an impeachable offense and what the differences are. We're going to play a clip for you, and if we can we play that clip, and then we're going to get right back to you.
Yep, he's pulling it up
clip,
now.
Please.
Yeah, he's pulling it up now.
Okay.
You got it.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others too, convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
Now, that's what I refer to as quid pro quo. Can you explain to me the blatant and public way that he wound up saying what he did versus the president, what he just wound up saying to the president of
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Thank you, Janice. Can you just I mean, this bothers the living hell out of me that no one else is really talking about this.
Yeah.
Tell me what the differences are, Gus, because I'm just a stupid little Greek boy in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm just not understanding.
I know you're not a stupid little Greek boy, Basil. You're a highly intelligent individual. I mean, you may play one, but you're not one. We know you pretty well. Basil, yeah, it's the media. They're very, very biased. And they're very biased against the president. First of all, they were biased against Republicans for many, many years. But they hate this president so much that they will violate their ethics codes. And they want him, so, they want him out as well. So Democrats want him out, and the media wants him out. So he's fighting against all these things. Basil, I haven't looked. I've looked at the transcript of when the president spoke to the president of Ukraine. But again, I'd like to hear the volume. I want to hear and I can interpret it myself. But the fact is, this is not an impeachable offense. What Biden said a few years back, like you said, that's the definition, the ultimate definition of quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo, right?
Yeah, you didn't say it right, but anyway, you know what I mean. So in any case, in the sun, my goodness, come on, millions and millions of dollars from Ukraine and China, and he wasn't qualified, and it just that is something that the media should be focusing on, in my opinion.
And they won't, Gus. They won't, because I agree with you. But you know what? I got to be honest with you. If it were the other way around, as a conservative cat like I am, and this was done to a Democratic president, I got to be honest with you. I think the due process of law and the way we have transparency, I would even sit back and go, this is wrong. This is completely wrong. And I've met so many friends.
I know you would, and I believe you. And even though President Clinton broke the law, and he did, I think, I wasn't in Congress then, but I feel that my party, more than likely, I think they made a mistake in impeaching President Clinton. And Nancy Pelosi was there at the time. And that's why she fought against impeachment for so many months. But again, she's really the Speaker of the House now in name only. And the squad and their friends have taken over the leadership. And, she wants to continue to be Speaker, and they want to appease their base. And their base is very much in favor of impeachment. So I think it's going to blow up in their face, but you never know with politics.
But you really don't. But I definitely think that the lunatics have taken over the asylum, and Nancy Pelosi, who is the warden of said asylum, is really, she should have sat back and told the new kids on the block, as I refer to them, because good luck getting voted in some of these. I've seen some of these speeches these people are making, and I think they're going to wind up losing so many House seats, to be quite honest with you. I have friends of mine who are Democrats who are saying, this is ridiculous.
The average Democrat.
I don't like the guy, but this is ridiculous.
These for example, Nancy Pelosi said this. Look, I'm a liberal from San Francisco, but I'm no socialist. And these people that have taken over are not in the mainstream at all. Their party's in trouble. Now, the thing is, we have a lot of retirements, Basil. I think around 25 in my party, and it's going to be very difficult to win those seats back. But there are some Trump seats, red seats, that Democrats won in 2018. That we could get back. So I think the president wins the election, I think that the candidates now that are the front runners in the Democratic field really, in my opinion, are not going to do very well, whoever the nominee is. So, and the economy, let's face it, the economy's good. The economy's good.
The economy's fantastic.
Done.
Yeah. Janice, I know you probably have a question or two to ask the congressman.
Well, our listeners have asked, when a president's impeached, who decides whether he remains in office, like Clinton did, or if he's removed?
Good question. Good question. The Constitution states that when the president's impeached, it's similar to an indictment in a criminal case. So Clinton was impeached, all right, but he remained in office because he was not convicted. There's a trial in the Senate. There was a trial in the Senate with Clinton, and he was not convicted in the Senate. Therefore, he remains in office. So, he'll have an asterisk or something in the history books, but it really doesn't have much of an effect. So I think personally, no matter what the evidence looks like, that the president more than likely will be impeached, not convicted in the Senate, where the trial will take place, and I feel it's going to be reelected because the Senate is really, the impeachment is kind of political.
Sure.
But the Senate has a trial. It's similar to, a criminal trial that takes place. And there's, in my opinion, DOJ has already stated that whatever was done was not criminal.
Basil, I hate to cut in, but we gotta cut out here. We got another.
Okay. Hey, Gus, I don't know how much more time you have. If you have to get going, I understand. I think our listeners understand as well. Hate to lose you, but if you like to stay with us, you can. If you can't, I truly understand. But thank you so much for being part of the show, Gus.
What do you think? I still have a few more for the vote, but whatever you'd like.
If you want to stay, you can. You will, but we've got to be right back. You let us know, Gus. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile here on my wonderful radio show.
Now, back to the show.
Oh, we are indeed back on A Pinch of Basile. Don't forget, I'm streaming this live on Facebook. Not really. But you can also listen on the TuneIn app or on any phone or device. Once you have the app, just search America Matters.
It's the ghost of Basil. It's the ghost of Basil.
It's the ghost of Basil, yes. It is the beautiful technology that we have. 2 Campbell's soup cans, 1 very long piece of string. So we're going to make this thing fly.
Absolutely.
God. If you're on the computer, just go to americamatters.us. We want to hear from you, your comments. Go to my Basil fans page on Facebook. That's BASILE FANS. Like me, throw us some questions. And if you have any questions for our guest next time he comes back on, and I want to thank, sincere thanks, to Gus Bilirakis, who had to go and do a vote and who offered his time to actually be on our show often. And, when do you find congressmen to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I thought that was really nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice of him to offer.
And he has what we Greeks call philotimo, which is like the kindness of your heart that you have to help others. He wanted to be on this show. He wants to share his things with me and also all of our viewers and listeners. So I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, again, that's Gus Bilirakis, Congressman Gus Bilirakis from Florida, 12th Congressional District, and just a tremendous cat. That's all I got to say about that. If you have any questions for me or any of our guests in the future, call 844-790-8255, or you can also text. Janice, can you give them that text number?
I can. It's 775-237-2266, and we'd love to hear from you.
We really would. And right now, before we go any further, hey, listen, there's a couple of dates that I got to mention that I hope I can real quick. November 22nd and the 23rd, I'll be at the Dead Crow Comedy Club in Wilmington, North Carolina. November 22nd and the 23rd, it's Basil, Dysfunctionally Yours. Then, on November 24th, at the same club in Wilmington, North Carolina, I'm going to be doing my Greek comedy show, Growing Up Greek in America, Call 910-399-1492. On November 30th, I'll be at St. Sophia's Greek Orthodox Church in Albany, New York. That's right, Thanksgiving weekend. I said to myself, when can I find the worst time to travel? Oh, I know, Thanksgiving weekend. Call 518-489-4442. Make sure you get those tickets. December 6th and 7th, 2019, I'll be at Chuckles Comedy House in Jackson, Mississippi. Go to chucklescomedyhouse.com and get your tickets online, okay? And then December 28th, I'll be in Youngstown, Ohio at the Dior Ford Theater. Doing a Basil concert, call 330-477-4269. New Year's Eve, Sarasota, Florida, at McCurdy's Comedy Club Theater. I'll be there. Call. This New Year's Eve, big time for me. I'm going to be there that whole entire week. 941-925-3869. Now, to be quite honest with you, I am so excited to be be back on this show. And we had technical issues last week. We had technical issues this week.
Oh, we weren't on last week. No, we weren't on last week. We couldn't have technical issues.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. What was I thinking?
I don't know. I just had to correct you.
Yes, I love you too. And speaking of screwed up things, balloons and camels are two ways to catch a ride here. Do you like that segue?
That was a great segue. I love that.
Welcome to India's largest camel and livestock festival, the Pushkar Camel Fair. Thousands of people travel across mountains and through the Thar Desert to grandma's house we go to buy and sell livestock and enjoy the carnival-like atmosphere as only camels can show you.
That's right.
The fair, absolutely. A couple of humps and you're good to go. The fair offers visitors many diversions, but it's the camels who get top billing. Considered ships of the desert. I have never heard them called ships of the desert, but nonetheless, considered ships of the desert, camels were domesticated by nomads thousands of years ago.
That's something.
Goods across the board. Yeah, it is. I mean, listen, the three wise men said, hey, you think that camel can carry some myrrh? Sure. Okay. So carry goods across the forbidden landscapes. When well-fed and hydrated, a camel can travel great distances without needing water or food, sometimes for weeks. The humps on a camel's back serve a purpose. They're fatty deposits that act as a source of nutrition. Now, if that's the case, I have enough nutrition in me to last me about 3 months. Anyway, here on the edge of the Thar Desert, the camel remains a mode of transportation for nomads, as well as a source for textiles, goods, and sustenance. Did you know a camel's milk does not curdle in the desert? Did you know that?
I do now.
Yes. That's why it's very, very tough to make camel yogurt. Just saying. Anyway, camel yogurt sounds so good.
Yeah, I don't eat yogurt anyway, so I don't have to worry.
Perfect. The camel is held in such high esteem. The Pushkar Fair even stages camel decoration contests.
Can you imagine that? Now, come on. Seriously? Can you imagine decorating a camel?
Yeah.
It's like decorating a giraffe, right?
Well, you could decorate a giraffe. You can go.
I like giraffes, so I
love giraffes. They're very, very nice. But if it were me, and we're talking a double hump camel, I'm just saying maybe a nice push-up bra would be nice.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there. Don't use it again.
No, I won't. The 8th century desert town itself is a beauty with medieval architecture and over 50 whitewashed ghats. And I actually had to go make sure I was saying that correctly.
I was going to say, you did that very well. I'm proud of you.
Yes. It
was a test.
Stairs that descend into the Pushkar Lake. Now, we're in a desert, but all of a sudden they have the Pushkar Lake.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
And look at that. They consider it to be holy.
It's a holy lake.
A holy lake. It doesn't mean it has holes in it.
No.
So you can't tell the last part of this because we're going to ask a question about that. So the very end of this, do not share. All right?
Okay.
Because we want to ask we're going to ask our audience a question. Well, you already know the answer, but we'll ask them.
I know the answer, but I got to tell you, it says here, pilgrims consider the lake water to be holy. Now, first of all, I wonder if they celebrate Thanksgiving because these are pilgrims. That's number one.
Wrong country.
This is very
wrong country.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not very good at this. Anyway, go ahead with your wonderful question that people can call in.
All right. My question is, and I'm gonna ask Basil a couple of other questions in the meantime, but the question for the audience is, why is photography banned near Pushkar Lake during the full moon of the fair? And here are your possible answers. You ready? Because modern technology is prohibited at the fair, it's considered bad luck, or the pilgrims are taking part in a bathing ritual. So why is photography banned? So that's the question. You got 3 answers there, and anybody who would like to try and pitch in and give us an answer is welcome to do so. All right,
absolutely.
Modern technology. Yep, there you go.
844-790-8255.
You got about a minute.
You know what, Janice? I'm feeling nice. I would like to go ahead and offer a Basil concert T-shirt for the actual winner.
Oh, somebody answer. Come on, answer. Why is photography banned near Pushkar Lake during the full moon of the fair? Get yourself a T-shirt. It is modern technologies prohibited, it's considered bad luck, or the pilgrims are taking part in a bathing ritual. And I have to ask you this one, Basil. We got about, minute and a half. Say you want to enter a camel in the Pushkar Camel Fair's decoration competition. What does it take for a camel to be a winner? Do you know? A camel should have a nice smile with straight white teeth. That's A. B, a camel must have pouty lips and a full nose. Or C, a camel must be able to walk down a desert catwalk. 10 seconds, my friend. A, B, or C?
Oh, wow.
What does it take for a camel?
I got to go with B.
B.
Pouty lips.
Oh, my goodness. Ding, 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 ding. Get yourself a T-shirt. I'm serious. Camel has to have pouty lips and a full nose. How about that?
God.
There you go.
Listen, I love my pouty lips.
There you go. I have no answers from our audience at this point, I'm afraid. So,
you people just lost out on this.
Yeah, I lost out on a shirt. How about that?
Well, you are the reasons why we don't have nice things.
I know.
All right.
I know. So we got about 50 seconds. So I'm going to give the answer. The pilgrims are taking part in a bathing ritual. So that's why you can't do photography. Can't take pictures of the pilgrims. Naked.
Yeah, John Smith, when he was there with the other pilgrims.
You have 30 seconds, my friend.
30 seconds, all right.
No stories, 30 seconds.
It's the end of the third segment, right? It's the end of the third segment. I just want to make sure. Okay. Folks, listen, thank you all so much. We're going to be our 4th segment. We'll be coming up right next after a couple of the sponsors things that we do, but we're going to go be back. If you have any questions or posts, give us a call. Stay right here on A Pinch of Basile with your wonderful host, Dave.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
So glad you can join us on A Pinch of Basile. We've been having some fun here in studio, here in wonderful Wilmington, North Carolina, and also in wonderful Reno, Nevada, and everywhere in between. It looks like we might be going to London. It looks like we might be going to Wilmington, North Carolina. It looks, and folks, we're talking that we're breaking out into something special, and I want to thank all of you for making that happen. I really do. About 2 weeks ago, we spoke to Eileen Pollock, the author whose books were focused on the Unabomber, but she also talked a lot about immortality. The name of the book, Professor of Immortality, she wrote, and we were just kind of, curious about how long people have lived and in a span of years. And right now it seems that we're being told we're not living as long. I tend to disagree. But
I just heard a report the other day that said that. They said that especially men, that men are not living as long as as they used to in prior years, and I don't get why.
Even with it, I don't buy.
I don't know. Maybe it's climate change. Oh, shame on me. I'm sorry. I saw some big long joke the other night about climate change. Everything was attributed to climate change. That was the gig. They were going through the whole thing.
Actually,
sorry. I try to stay away from politics, but.
No, and you're doing a hell of a job.
Book Gus Bilirakis. Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, no, it's fine. My backyard is a mess with a couple of trees that have fallen over the hurricane season, and I'm blaming that on climate change.
Oh, yay.
My daughter basically got 4 A's and a C. The C was due to climate change.
See, you can do that little skit too, right?
I have jokes.
Yeah.
I have jokes.
Are you a comedian?
Yeah. I am, as a matter of fact.
Hard
to tell sometimes, but I am indeed a jokester. And actually, the people that I'm, because I'm from a part of Greece called Ikaria. It's an island called Ikaria. And Ikaria is famous because it's one of the blue zones where people live to be in their hundreds. So I think, listen, there's a lot of, on a serious note, there's a lot of questions about, all the things that we put into our foods and things that may be shortening our lives and whatnot. Yeah, I tend to think with modern science that we are increasing our lives, and modern technology and surgery techniques that are saving us, where before people would, have a blocked artery and they all of a sudden get a stent, put in there as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So, there's also things that we have in common. That people have something that you're born with, whatever. But here are some examples of people that have lived a very, very long life. Jane Kalman, and it's really Jeannie. Jeannie Kalman, 1875 to 1997.
That's kind of what I thought was so amazing, is that if we're living longer, and she was born in 1875 and lived that long,
right?
How long are we going to live?
Right.
Right?
Well, listen, I would like, I want to live up until the point where I have, if I start having pains that I have to live with, or if I'm a burden to my family, and that's when I want to, I guess, cash in the chips, if you will. But this woman lived for 122 years and 164 days.
I love that.
And it says here, yeah.
122 years and 164 days. Usually when you get older, you don't want to count all those days, right?
Yeah.
Until you get to that age.
Yeah, really, to say the least. But she's documented with a lifespan of 122 years. But think about that. She saw basically, she was born right after Napoleon, right?
Yeah.
And she saw the First World War. She saw the Second World War. She's seen men go into space. She's seen so many things, people learning how to fly. She saw the first, the Wright brothers, or heard about it and saw French. This woman's just unbelievable. She outlived both her daughters and grandson. She was widely reported to have the oldest living. Let me take that back. To have been the oldest living person in 1988 at 112, and was declared the oldest person ever in 1995 at age 20. Some researchers have challenged Kalman's extreme age due to statistical unlikelihood and have examined the possibility that her daughter, Yvonne, may have assumed Kalman's identity in 1934. The other researchers have dismissed the hypothesis on the basis of extensive prior research into Kalman's life. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it's pretty incredible.
We have another one.
We do?
To say the least. Yeah, but who knows? Okay, now here's another one. I hope I say this one. Shivetsio Izumi.
Oh,
Did I say
yeah,
that right?
I don't know. That one I looked at and I said, man, I don't think I want to tackle that.
Shigechio Izumi lived
Well
for
done.
120 years. And Izumi is definitely Japanese, and I bet you because, again, the people, that's one of the blue zones over in Okinawa, Japan, where these people, like the people where I'm from, the island that I'm from in Ikaria, they live to be in their hundreds. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's what you're eating healthier, you're eating, not so much. They just don't want to give up their property, and they refuse to die at any cost.
That's what it is. You got it right.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. She was recognized, let me see, Sarah de Reamer, Clark
Noss. Yeah.
Noss? Okay, is the case silent in that one?
Yeah.
Sarah
I
de
believe
Reamer
so.
Clark Noss, 1888 to 1999, lived for 119 years. She was recognized as the world's oldest living person by Guinness World of Records from April 16, 1998 until her death. Sarah de Reamer Clark was also born on September 24, 1880 in Hollywood, Pennsylvania, a small coal mining village. She married Abraham Lincoln Noss, originally a tanner, so I guess he worked with leather, and became a prominent Lehigh Valley or Lehigh County, Pennsylvania Republican leader, and the recorder of deeds from 1937 until his retiring in 1951. Their only child, Catherine, was born in 1903 and died in 2005. Wow, she had a long life, too, didn't she?
Yeah, looks like it.
1903 and died at the age of 101.
Well, it's probably
Sarah
a lot of
died.
this is genetic too. You know, I mean, I look at
there's no two ways about it.
yeah, I look at my family, and I have one of my mom's cousins that lived to be 98, 99. You know, on my dad's side, my grandmother lived to be almost 100, and so you know, you're stuck with me for a long time, Basil.
Thank God. I mean, who the hell else is going to do this show with me, for God's sake? Let me see. Let me see. 1965 said she enjoyed her life because she still had her health and could do things.
I like that.
Imagine
She can
that.
do
She
things.
can still do things. Yeah. Picking up the boys. I know what goes on. Oh, my God. You know. Let me see. There is also, let me see what else, because this is so, you know, Carrie, okay, 1891, she became the world's oldest.
Did you hear that
Canadian.
part? Here, listen to this. When her family members mentioned her newfound fame, the fact that she became the world's oldest person in 1998, she said with a smile, "So what?" Right? At that point, who cares? So I lived.
Yeah. God bless her.
Oh,
You gotta love. You
that
know
was funny.
what? A lot of people have issues with people who basically have this real dry sense of humor, or whatnot. But I love
know.
when. A good,
Yes,
dry,
Spike
rich-
says hello from Saugus, Wakefield. And every time I see Saugus, I can't help it. I think of Southern California because I used to live in Canyon Country / Saugus. So, yeah.
you know what? I got to give kudos to a great comedy club in Saugus. I think it's got to be Saugus, and that's in Massachusetts.
Right,
MA.
right. No, it is.
Great comedy club there. I want to thank Mike Clark and Lenny Clark for having me there, especially Mike Clark. He booked me there. And I'll tell you what, he was just a fantastic boss to work for. And thank you for the sellout shows that we did there. Growing Up Greek in America sold out in a flash. The other shows sold out in a flash. And you know, listen, the audience in Massachusetts is just fantastic. Love them. They're great. And they got my respect. I'll tell you what, I love those places. I
Awesome.
really do.
That's awesome. You got about a minute
how are we
and a
doing on
half
time?
left. You got about a minute and a half left.
Oh.
So there you
I
go.
wanna
Maybe
thank
wrap us
all
up.
I want to thank all my listeners who came. I'm sorry for the mess. I think we may have a fix for this whole thing that's going to sound better, look better, and we may even have a big sponsor by next week. I'm going to be talking to them tomorrow. We're very, very excited. But folks, don't forget to listen every week on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 New York City time. We can be heard
You still have
all
a minute, my
around
friend.
the world on a. Pardon me?
You still have a minute, so don't go too
Okay.
fast.
Still have we can be heard all around the world on AmericaMatters.us. If you're using the TuneIn app, just search America Matters and be sure to keep it on one of your favorite questions and comments. Go to Basil Fans, it's BASILEFANS on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or give me a call at 844-790-8255. Thanks so much for joining us.
And I want to tell our audience also that if you guys want us to talk to someone, you should let us know who that might be, and we'll search them down.
Yeah.
We'll hunt them down.
Oh, absolutely. Tell us who you want to listen to.
That's
and who
right.
you want to hear. You know, I tell you, as a guest, I'll bring them on, no problem whatsoever.
There you go. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I wanted to throw that in.
No, it's okay. You interrupted me like 5-6 times.
I know.
I'm not bitter. Anyway, I want to tell all you, how much time we got?
15 seconds.
I want to tell all of you, thank you so much. You've been listening to A Pinch of Basil, Basil all over the world. I love you. Go to basillive.com. Check us out. I'll talk to you all soon.